Good, and you? See, they're starting your sidewalks.
They are. It's looking good.
They're
They,
leaving the
I
slate.
have to say, have been very considerate.
They leave the slate in front of the restaurant or no?
The slate's going.
Okay.
It's right now it's on the south side of the building. And I mean, the whole front is dug up. It's
Ooh.
they did an amazing amount of work today. It's insane how much work they did. But he said they're trying to hustle so that I can not be impacted so greatly. And then next Tuesday is when they're going to pour from the parking lot side to the front door.
Okay.
That side will be intact right now. And then the other side, they're going to work on that this week. But they
So-
got an amazing amount of work done today. I blown
So
away.
entry is still in the front door.
Yep.
Oh.
No street parking.
Yeah.
So
right.
that is, I believe, definitely going away. But at the moment, they're doing an incredible job. And they're very nice. They're very considerate. You know, they're trying to be really thoughtful about, everybody's business and stuff. So it's good. So let's see, yes, we have a quorum. We have 4 of us. Okay, so we can start.
Right.
Call the meeting to order at 4:02. And let's see, may I get a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great. May I get a motion to approve the minutes of July 12th?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
thank you, Steve. And all in favor?
Yes. Aye.
Aye, great. Okay. New business. There was a letter sent in from a Michael T. Reynolds. I don't know if you have all, hang on, let me pull this thing up here. Oh, I just lost his letter. Anyway, he wrote inquiring, he evidently had a leak in his basement or something like that at 11 North Main Street, and he did not realize that the thing went on and on and on. And let's see here. Let me just pull up his letter. Oh, sorry. So he asked the water company, he asked Aquarian to give him a a reduction in fee from this bill. So the bill, because water and sewer are the same, the bill was invoiced at $735.80, and Aquarian's was $487.53, ours was $735, and he's asking to get a reduction on that bill. So Debbie, where are you here?
Oh,
What are your
I'm
thoughts?
over here, sort of.
Okay.
I'll take whatever reduction you want to give the man. I just couldn't do it on my own without. the
Oh, no, that's
authority
fine.
of the commission. So, it is an empty building, so we could adjust it as much as you want.
Okay, well,
This is
have
the old
you all
country.
had a chance to look at the letter?
This is the old country clothes building.
Yes,
Okay.
Well, shame on him for keeping that building empty for so long, first of all. That's firstly, but secondly, he said because typical water bill was like 15 a month, and his typical and our typical quarterly sewer bill was 150 a month. So he just got a $735.80 sewer bill from us because the thing was leaking for quite some time into his basement. So what does the commission feel about either lowering it to the 150 or splitting the difference with him? Or Aquarian gave him a credit of $200, $205 from a $480 bill. I mean, we can do whatever we want. Anything I know would be appreciated. So anybody have a strong feeling one way or the other?
No, I'm a little confused why his sewer bill is high. Were toilets running?
We take the water readings from Aquarian. So whatever Aquarian's charge was, and it sounds like it was a leak that lasted for quite a long time, that's the number we use to send the sewer bill. So that's
Oh.
why,
Plus,
Okay.
don't forget, there's a usage fee, or, a rate, general usage fee, which is what picks up that difference.
Yep.
oh yeah, that's not going to change.
Yeah.
No.
So, I mean,
I-
if you want to offer him the 205 that Aquarian gave him, we can do that. Or if you want to be more generous, we can be more generous. I don't know how everyone feels.
I would go to his usual amounts.
Okay. Is,
What does the second letter say that he has there, the August
Oh,
28th?
Actually, the second letter is from a second person. The second letter is from a Charles Goldberg at 80 North Main. It's the same idea. He's redoing his apartment. He was not in it. He had a leaky toilet. And he's wondering if he can get any adjustment to his bill also.
I only have the one from Michael Reynolds here.
Oh, okay.
I don't have a Chuck
All right.
Goldberg
Um,
letter. Did he send one in too?
yes.
When did he send his in?
His is dated. His letter is dated, doesn't have a date, but it came in shortly thereafter. I think it's the second letter that I gave to Joyce. They both were under one name.
Okay, so what is Chuck's, what was his bill?
Mr. Goldberg's problem is that the units went to 2,400. He usually uses 800. So I'm wondering if we could reduce it back to 800 for 80 North Main. There again, it was a leaky toilet or faucet.
I mean, I have them happen here all the time, and I never think to come to the sewer commission to reduce my bill. I mean, I
I
don't mean
think-
to be a
I
hard
think
ass
the
here.
fact, I understand that, but I think the fact that they don't live there makes a difference.
Oh, was this bill as he was redoing the apartment?
Yes. I think it's still being redone. That's my understanding.
No, actually, I
if
think
he-
he is in there. That I do know. He is.
Okay.
He's
You
in
know,
now.
we can table Mr. Goldberg. The other sewer bills don't go out for another month. So,
All right, well, let's table Chuck's until
Okay.
we get to see his letter and know what he is indeed paying and what his bill went to and stuff like that. Let's just address the one we have at hand, which is the Michael Reynolds. And if everybody on the commission is fine to drop it back to his 150 normal rate, then I'm fine with that too.
What was the second letter about? Nobody answered that yet.
It was the second, there's two letters that were included in the package that are both from Michael T. Reynolds. There's a third letter that we don't have a copy of that was from Chuck Goldberg, who lives in the Kent condos. So we're going to table Mr. Goldberg's till next month when we can see his letter and what he's paying and this, that, and the other thing. And we're just going to address the Michael Reynolds one right now, which is the one we have, which came in. Did you see the package that, the attachments that came in on the agenda?
I didn't see the 28th one. No, I didn't see that.
Oh, which one didn't you see? The
The
Goldberg
August-
one? Or-
From Michael T. Reynolds, August 28th. I didn't
Right.
see that.
It's on your, whatchamacallit, it was in the letter that came in with the agenda from Joyce on the 9th.
Okay, I didn't see it.
On the agenda, there's a Google Drive that has all the supporting documentation for the meeting. If you click on that link, you get all the information that I have prior to a meeting.
All right, I didn't see that at all. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, all right, so for the moment, we are just going to deal with Michael Reynolds and not deal with the other one, that's all. I just think that makes more sense and stuff, so what does everybody think? Do you want to just drop it back to the 150, which is what he's seemingly been paying for quite some time? I mean, does that seem fair?
I do.
Steve?
That seems fine to me.
Okay. And John?
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, yeah, as an owner of a building, you got to be careful, what's going on at all times. I guess,
I
he didn't pay
agree.
attention. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, if the building hadn't been empty, I'd say, to rethink it, but because the building is empty, I'm fine to do that, but I hope he's gotten it fixed. All right, so we will drop his water bill back to 150, Debbie.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Can you make a motion for that, please?
so, Kath,
So moved.
you need to make a motion.
Do you want me to speak it or can I say so moved?
No, you have to speak, you have to tell them we're approving this thing.
I move we reduce Mr. What's his name?
Reynolds,
Reynolds to his normal amount.
any discussion? All in
Second.
favor?
I'll
Aye.
second it.
Okay, done. Bye. Okay, and then, let's see. And then there was a letter from Peter Crockett, who resigned abruptly at the sewer plant on the 9th of August.
Hmm.
And I told him he needed to send in a formal resignation. Of course, he got a little pissy in it, but we're just not going to go there. So we accepted his resignation and we are moving on.
Can you make a motion to that, please?
Oh, sorry. We're just speeding along here today. I'm
I
not
make a
allowed to
motion.
make- Okay,
Yeah.
John,
Resignation as of, what was it dated? August 9th?
August 9th.
Yeah, August 9th, 2022.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you. And just to let you know, I know Peter Gadiel had made some comment about the fact that, we weren't informed or there was an exit interview. When someone quits, there's no exit interview. It's just, you're done. And, I'm sorry he left. I thought it was an opportunity for him, but there's no such thing as an exit interview, which is what Peter thought there should have been. So, but now we are working towards getting somebody new. So we're just going to move on. Old business.
What about creating a hiring subcommittee?
Yes, I was going to do that in my report thing, but we could do that right now.
Yeah, it's on the-
I had spoken to Steve Roby and Vin Roberti about possibly taking that on to do an interview, because Steve and Vinny both have done hiring, and Vinny is pretty adept at plumbing and things like that. So I thought they would be two good candidates. And we were going to see on the applicants that we have received, and that also came in that the email from Joyce were the applicants. There's really only two we can consider, only because one came in late, and the two from Thomaston are kind of far away. Because in the job description, it says you must be within 30 minutes of the sewer plant so that in an emergency, you can get there within a reasonable amount of time. If we interview the two candidates that we can interview right now, and they don't seem to work out, we can open it up again and then consider, re-interviewing those other two gentlemen. Only, I just think it's too far away for them to, Thomaston is like Waterbury area. On a daily basis, it's going to get really tired. It's not like they're making $1 million to come here. And I just think in the dead of winter and stuff like that, it's just not going to be, there'll be, excuses why they're not here and stuff like that. I just think it's prudent to pick somebody else a little bit closer for the moment, unless they don't work out. So we have sort of designated Sunday, the 18th, Sunday, the 18th, this coming Sunday at 2:00. And Steve and Vin are going to interview the two candidates that can qualify, one of which is Matt Starr, and the other one is, hang on, sorry. Grant Ducey. Those seem to be the two that will seem to be able to work right now. And that meeting is going to be a Zoom meeting, and Joyce is going to set it up, and there'll be a list of questions that get asked. And then what you'll all do is rate the answers, and then we will take a read, and Lyle will be there as well. And then we will take a reading of what the ratings are and then go from there. Okay. Anybody have any other questions about that? Excuse me.
Bless you.
Excuse me. Thank you.
Bless.
Thank you. Sorry. So anybody have any other questions about that?
No.
Okay. Whatchamacallit, I spoke with David Schreiber today, just to touch base, and they are moving forward. He has C. Trinkhouse is his engineer who is selected, and they are working up engineering drawings for him to see what's the best way to go to hook up to the sewer plant, whether it's up and over through Emery Park or out Route 341. And Gary Hawk has been doing surveys for him, so he is funneling all that beginning information into getting started on this whole process, which is great. So that's one thing. I think I mentioned at the last meeting, Dorothy Ewer, who lives at, I want to say it's not 227, but it's probably about 225 North Main Street. She's right before that new development was going to happen, and she was having problems with her sewer line. That Aquarian water cracked, and they were installing a new water line, and they cracked the sewer line. And so it has since finally been repaired. It took months, which is crazy, but that is done. So check that off the list. And just as an FYI, when people are sending out an email on information or a conversation, you really need to copy everybody on the board to make sure that that everybody hears it. It really can't be between two people, or, it needs to include everybody, so everybody's aware of what's going on and stuff like that. So if everybody can be cognizant of that, I think that's kind of important stuff. Lyle, you're up. Your report, please.
Good afternoon, everybody. Excuse me. Since this is a 2-month meeting, I'll give you the readings from July and August. July, we had 2.08 million gallons total flow, 67,000 gallon per day average. It's and 807,000 of those 2.08 million came from Kent School. Average BOD removal rate is 99%, and the total suspended solids average removal rate was 99% also. Average influent pH was 7.3. In August, 1.63 million gallons total, 53,000 gallons per day. 906,000 gallons came from Kent School. Average BOD removal rate 99%. Total suspended solids removal rate dropped 1%. It's down to 98%. Average influent pH held at 7.3. As Alyssa mentioned, Peter Crockett is no longer employed at the plant. I have 2 effluent beds are in use, and 2 are cleaned and ready for sand. Old Gowell is having a little bit of a hard time finding the material. I talked to him a little while ago, and he thinks he can source it right from Harlem Valley. Now, before it was going to have to probably come from Canaan, and they were having a difficult time with it. But he says hopefully by the end of the week or the beginning of next, I'll have new sand in 2 of those beds. Those are the effluent beds right behind the office building. The sludge conveyor motor shaft snapped again and was replaced. GDB, which is the company who manufactured it, is looking into alternatives as far as the lime entry to the conveyor screw. What happened is when the quick lime gets moist, it sets up like concrete, and the screw trying to turn binds up and the shaft breaks.
This has happened before.
It's happened once before. It's both times it's been under warranty, and they're trying to find a solution. Where they have it, the lime dumping now is at the bottom of the screw, and it's at the lower level, and the sludge drops in higher,
Right.
and the moisture conveys down, actually down the screw, and sets up like concrete. So I suggested that we move the discharge of the lime higher in the conveyor, so it actually is mixing with the sludge at the point of entry rather than doing them separately. And they're looking into modifications to do that. Esteban Rojas assisted me with some grounds work. I thank him very much for that. Billy McCann is scheduled to cut the field with corn this week. And after that, the septage beds will be cleaned out. He planted the whole field this year. And so I was waiting for the septage lagoons to be cleaned out till harvest time. So he's supposed to do that. Hopefully this week. It depends on how much the rain brings overnight tonight.
Does he usually plant the whole field or?
No, what happened was he had somebody else running his equipment and came in after hours and planted the whole thing. So the next day I talked with him. He was like, "Oh my God." He's like, "Yeah, I didn't know he was going to plant the whole thing," and he apologized. So it kind of put us at a disadvantage a little bit, but I was able to work with them so we could dump the sludge, our regular processed sludge, in an area where it wouldn't affect too much of his crop.
Okay.
Blower number 2 had a blown fuse due to a faulty connection inside of the electrical cabinet, and continuing issues with the cell tower in town prevented the alarm from calling out.
Ooh.
The air was off for an extended period of time, leading to a bacteria die-off, but the plant is recovering well. I don't know when it tripped off. Butch Scholl checked the plant Sunday morning, about 8 o'clock, and everything was fine. And then I came
Do
in
we
on
have an
Monday.
emergency battery backup on that at all? Or would that, something like that help?
No, it had nothing to do with the electric power. When I came in on Monday, I mean, as far as the alarm calling out, I should say. When I came in on Monday, the alarm was in the alarm position, and it was trying to contact the cell tower. There's a strength meter of signal. It has full strength, but it wasn't able to call out. Subsequently, I've simulated another alarm and it's called out. But like I said, I don't know how long it was actually off. Long enough for a bacteria to die off. One basis is the pipes from the blower are really hot to the touch. You really can't hold your hand on them. You jerk your hand off quick because of the heat, and they were room temperature. So, 8-inch pipes, how long they hold their heat? Quite a bit. So it was off for several hours. But anyways, luckily we're able, the schools are in, so we're able to, get back fresh bacteria in at a higher rate than.
No, I'm just thinking though, if something had happened and it had been off for a really long time, then more of the bacteria would have died off, and then it would have posed a real problem for us down there. And just trying to think of how to anticipate something like that happening again, and just be, I don't know how if there's an emergency signal on any of that equipment that should, notify either you or me or someone, that if something that is not working, that is a key piece of equipment, can notify somebody more immediately. Just as another backup thing on, because if that stuff goes, if all that bacteria dies, we are going to spend another small fortune making it, bringing more in.
I can look into adding a landline dialer as a backup. Use the regular phone line rather than going via the cell tower.
Oh, interesting. Okay, we don't have do you have a fax machine?
We have yeah, we have a fax machine. We have a landline, but
all right.
the alarm agent uses Verizon. So there's been an ongoing issue with power in town, from what I've
Well, then maybe we should switch it over to the landline and do it that way and not rely on variety. I mean, I don't know. It's just one of my things. It's like
Sure,
when
sure.
your
I
phone
understand.
goes out and all of a sudden you're having a heart attack and you can't call somebody, what do you do? And this is the same situation almost, it's serious. And while it's, the plant isn't catching on fire, the other damage it's doing costs us money. That's all.
Sure.
So I'm thinking maybe we should switch it over to the landline and forego the cell tower hookup. What do you think?
Okay.
Is
I'll,
that complicated to do?
You would basically change that whole alarm system we have now.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Maybe
look
we can
into
add a backup dialer.
Okay.
you know.
All right.
We can
I'm
shoot
sure there's
try
got to
that.
be something that's not complicated or costly to do it, because I just think if we don't pay attention to it, something bad happened, that's, we're going to pay a bigger price than a phone line and
Sure.
stuff. Okay.
Okay, that's all I have.
Okay. Lyle, thank you.
Thank you.
Barbara.
Okay, hold on one sec. Let me just share my screen. Everybody see my screen?
We do.
Okay, so same as Lyle, I need to report for 2 months because there was no meeting last month. But it's also the very beginning of the fiscal year, so there's not a lot of activity. I did notice that the septage fees are way down, and I'm going to attribute that to probably the gas prices and everybody's still staying away. I'm sure, Lyle, you've noticed that the traffic has been reduced.
Yes, reduced quite a bit.
However, the good upside is the sewer use charges were up against what was budgeted for the same period. So that's good. All the other expenses are tracking pretty much on target where they need to be based on how many months of the year we're in. The medical insurance is a little bit higher. That's kind of a timing thing because we actually have to prepay for insurance. But this will ameliorate because we're down an employee. And so
Okay.
until that position gets filled, and there will be a credit that'll be forthcoming when
Okay.
it catches up. But as I said, we end up prepaying and then the credits come the same way, a little bit behind.
Okay.
So basically, everything is pretty much on track as far as that goes. The balance sheet, oh, it's a little bit large, this year versus last year. This is as of August 31st. So we're up about $6,000 over where we were a year ago. Even though it's only $6,000, the balances in the accounts are quite different. I ended up having to move quite a bit of money out of the septage account just because the septage fees that were coming in weren't as high as I had budgeted for. So I transferred money out to the operating account to cover that. The fiscal year is over, but I haven't booked the depreciation yet. So once I do that, these numbers will change to reflect the depreciation from the last fiscal year. At this time, after 2 months, we're looking at a net income of 25,000. So that's good. Although last year at this time, we were looking at a net income of almost 60,000. So again, that's
Big difference.
attributable to those septage fees. And then for the disbursement journal, I do have 2 months of the disbursement journal. I did highlight some of the outlier expenditures. This is that 2,844 for that seed planting and labor that Lyle was touching on earlier. The insurances for the workers' comp and LAP insurance and the HSA funding only happens once a year, but the other insurances are quarterly. So this reflects the HSA funding and the quarterly insurance.
Okay.
Unfortunately, because of the way that the HSAs get funded, we had just funded the other employee's HSA account for the year, and then he resigned. So that was unfortunate. This $80,000 is the transfer that I made from the septage to the operating. Oops, the regular monthly insurances to the town. This is what the health insurance, dental insurance, and life insurance monthly were for July. We did receive some benefit assessments, but that money gets turned directly back over to the town for the Maple Street debt service. You can see a lot of the revenue that the tax collector collected came in during this middle section of August. So I had just made the transfer and then all this revenue came in. So I may end up transferring funding back to the septic account. When I sent this out, this looks like this $4,000 expenditure is just for gasoline and diesel, but that's not true. The larger part of that $4,000 expenditure is the August insurances of $3,400. So only 500 and something dollars was the diesel and gasoline for the month. And then this lab exam cost seems a little high for 4 lab exams, but it's actually 5 because there were 2 samples sent, or at least that's the way they billed it. 2 samples for 8/11. I got 2 separate bills for the
Okay.
date of 8/11. And that's all I have. So I just need a motion from the board to approve this disbursement ledger.
Hey, I get a motion to approve the disbursement ledger.
So moved.
Thanks, Steve. Second,
Second.
thank you. Thank you. Okay, Debbie,
I really don't have anything to report. It's everything, all the money I took in has already been reported by Barbara. So thank you. And I will take care of the 11 North Main Street bill.
okay. Can you just, when you do that, you want to just send a letter and can you copy Joyce and myself on it, just so we have that, you know, just saying that it's done and the sewer commission did this? So
Sure.
we can have it for our records.
As soon as I get a copy of the minutes, I will change it. and
Okay.
Give them a credit.
Okay, that would be great. Lyle, I have a question for you. When what's his face? Who seeds the field for us? I'm just drawing a blank on his name.
Billy McCann.
Billy McCann, thank you. So he did the whole field. Did we pay for the whole field? Or did we pay for what we normally would use?
I think we paid for what normally we would use.
Okay, all right. I mean,
Because when I had him on the
Or
phone
anything.
talking about, I questioned whether, it was going to be cost any more for him planting the whole field. I said, because I didn't sign off on.
no, I just
expensive
wanted
having-
just to check because I know we're operating kind of on a, tight budget
Yes.
days. So I just
So
want to make sure that we weren't spending.
When I
that.
asked him, he said he wouldn't charge us any more than normally
Okay.
would do.
Okay. Is there anything we can do to encourage or get some of these guys to come back and, for septage and stuff like that? I know we were doing quite well for a while there and stuff, but
Right.
it's, to see such a significant drop is like a real game changer for the commission. And I was wondering if there was anything we could do to, I don't know, incentivize these guys to come back or whatever.
I don't know. I really don't have an answer for that. I know Savarese is still our lion's share of
Okay.
our revenue.
Thank God he hasn't gone away.
Right,
But- But some of
but
the other ones, I didn't know if there was something.
yeah, I don't
even
ever
for
see,
all- Even for him, just to keep them
know,
coming and stuff.
like Northwest only comes in like once a month now. A1,
Where are they going instead? Are they going closer to home or?
I don't know. I don't speak with, since they don't come here, I don't speak with them. So I honestly don't have an answer on where they're
I
going
know.
or if they're going.
I know New Milford is no bargain, that's for sure. But I'd be just curious, if there was something we could do to get some of that traffic back.
I don't know, like Rick, are you there still?
He's just on mute. Oh, Rick. I don't know, he might.
Him and I had, I believe it was him, I was having a conversation about Northwest Septic. He asked me if they would come here, and I said, here you are. Right, you and I were talking about Northwest today?
Yes,
Yeah, he comes here like once a month, and what did he comment to you about New Milford? Did you
he
tell me?
thought when they did, hang on, we're getting that going here. When he did my system a year and a half or 2 years ago, he said it was cheaper for him to go back to New Milford with it, but I don't know what the actual rates are down there now. But
We should
I
look.
thought- yeah.
I don't know if we can, I don't know, I'm just trying to think, just because there's such a significant drop off, if there was something maybe, you know, we could do something with the rate to, I mean, business is tough for everybody. So if there was something we could do and have it be across the board to, I don't know, inspire them to come to Kent, I don't know. Just thought I'd ask.
can you handle more though? Those beds look like they're pretty full all the time.
Yeah, that's the thing too, you know, we need to be careful how much we take.
Well, it's like a catch-22. You want the,
Sure.
we sure want the income and we want to make sure we can deal with it and.
Yeah.
So, but I would be curious if you have a chance, Lyle, if you get,
Yeah, I'll give,
if you could call around, see what other rates are and stuff like that. And
Okay.
then just so we, you know, you always need to know what the competition is doing, you know,
Sure.
just
I'll,
keep an
I'll
eye
give
on
Mark-
that. And
I know a
stuff.
guy, Mike, who works down at New Milford. I'll give him a call.
Okay. And the other one is in Torrington.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
not,
Torrington takes it. I'll ask Jesse. talk to
yeah,
Jesse in a
just
couple
for
minutes.
curiosity's sake, you know, just to
Sure.
keep an eye out. All right. Well, I'm sorry Art is not on the phone here because I really want to pursue the drawings that he's working on right now for the aeration bed that we're planning to do and stuff like that. So hopefully he can be on for next month. I'll see if I can reach out to him. Anyway, I think we're good. So Steve, and we will get you and Lyle teed up on Sunday for 2 o'clock to do a set of, we'll get you all a copy of the questions to be asked, and then you can do a rating, and then we can make a judgment so that we can fill the position down at the plan as quickly as possible. And, you know, the thing is, and if you guys don't think either of them are qualified, then we open it up again. But I would really like to, you know, pull a candidate this time, just because I know it's a lot of work down there, and we're farming out a lot of work that we don't need to be if we had another guy working. So anybody have anything else they want to add in at all?
Alyssa, what has happened with the roof on the plant down there?
I think I dropped the ball, and I apologize. I've had a bunch of, I'll follow through on that. And I know Bart was looking into somebody who had given us a quote on that. So
Okay.
I will pull up that information and get back to you on that, I promise. Okay. And I'm sorry, I just had a few overwhelming things going on, so I will
Sure.
follow through on that. And anybody have anything else? Then meeting adjourned at 4:39. Thank you all. See you next month, and I will get back to you on that, Steve.
Sure.
Thanks. Thank you, everyone.